Oh, bugger. Little seasoning, eh? Well done.
All right, you fresh off the Steam players, you Fortnite gamers, we all know why you really chose Barbarian. And I will show you how to win. Step 1, make a sick name. Step 2 is choosing the right race. In this game, there are many races to choose from, all of them giving varying bonuses. It is important to choose the right one. As a barb, you're going to be cutted the entire time you play this game, so you need to take the elf skin for extra move speed. Even though we're 3 seasons deep, they still haven't released the gold farmer skin, so we're just going to have to make do. Alright, so in terms of gear, the changes that have been made are pretty drastic. There's the gear that I was using last season in the most ideal build. The overall changes you have are, gear has been buffed in terms of its negative penalty on move speed. Everybody got plus 15 HP, and plus all is gone. The single stat plus 3 is gone, and now you can only get plus 2. Most action speed max values have been reduced. These are severe nerfs for Barb for the most part, and I'll explain why after we talk about what I'm using now. The new gear is shown on the right, and those are the new stats you're going to get. Everything in red has been reduced, and everything in green has been buffed slightly. Now, this is assuming that you're using the same gear as before, and that we have the exact same rarity. Now, your build will be probably less because we don't have access to Grim Smiles, and finding legendary gear at the moment is a little bit harder. But in time, this will be the optimal build for you to go, barring any new items that have been added that I don't currently know about. That being said, I've only optimized for 2 stats per item, meaning conceivably, other than the base stat being at the max level of 5 or 6 from legendary or epic gear, I'm only optimizing for 2 rolls out of the potential 3 to 4 on epic and legendary gear per item. What that means is you can get better stats than what I currently have if you're willing to spend way more money, but I'm thinking about buying gear for the average price and not something super juiced.
Il porte. Dump it.
To briefly explain why Barb got nerfed in the last patch, I will use Cheems to describe. Before, when you were Barb, if you hit a rogue with 50 damage and he had 100 HP, it would take you 2 swings. And for a rogue to kill you with 150 HP, with his daggers doing 50 damage, it would take him 3 swings. Now, because everyone has more HP, it takes you 3 swings, and it takes the rogue 5 swings. But the rogue's 5 swings happen faster than your swings, meaning he just DPS checks you. Now, before we move on, the reason why you should trust what I'm saying is because I've won multiple tournaments, and I'm a very aggressive Barb player. If you like to be aggressive in PvP, then you should listen to what I'm saying. And please, for the love of God, subscribe to my channel. Every person that subscribes and learns Barb means one less fighter in the Goblin Caves. So as far as perks and skills, you're basically always using Robust, Iron Will, Berserk, and Crush. The other perks are too conditional and or too lenient in the damage, so they're not worth using. If you are planning on to use a double axe, which I don't suggest you do, then you can take axe spec over Berserker, but usually not worth it. And if you're really low budget, you can take Savage over Berserk if you're not running a chest piece, but given that the chest pieces are so low move speed cost now, it's almost always better to have one and then just run Berserk. As far as skills, Rage is a must, and then you swap between Roar or Achilles. Roar, I think, is performing a little bit better right now because Achilles doesn't help you in a lot of these situations where you get stuck in a corner versus like Druid Bears and stuff like that, and Roar is just better, and you can use Roar as a pseudo Achilles by running up to somebody with your fists with your rage out, and then when they go to fight you, you just roar, and then they start running again, and you continuously punch them with your fists if they're one of these really fast maneuverable classes. All the other skills are basically memes and should not be used unless you're playing trios. If you're playing trios, it is possible for you to maybe take Warcry and Savage Roar, or Warcry instead of Savage Roar if you're playing very close-knit with your team, which you should be. This is the stat thresholds we're looking for, guys. 180 to 185 HP. We're looking for anywhere from 310 to 315 move speed. We're looking for 15% to 25% action speed. We want our equip speed to be above 50%, preferably higher and closer to 70. And we're looking for PDR at 25% or above, so that when we rage, we still are positive PDR, and MDR as high as you can get it without spending any points into any sort of will or MR rolls on your gear. Since we're playing Barb, the most important thing to note is that we prefer raw stats over add damage. Most of the time, you're already doing enough damage with stats that you don't need to look for any add damage. Add damage works particularly well with fast hitting weapons, and most of your weapons are hitting very slow on Barb, so it's better to swing more times than it is to swing less times with more damage. Lastly, we're coming down to weapons. The Bardiche is the best weapon for Barbs right now. It got buffed and it now is only at a minus 40 move speed penalty, and its damage got buffed, which wasn't mentioned, and it is at a 64 base on epic gear tier, so it is the highest damage weapon in the game. It has an overall extremely good moveset. There's only two caveats. The first hit is a little slow and has bad range, and you, on your poke, if your back is against the wall, you will end up hitting the wall sometimes behind you, so just keep that in mind. And as far as secondaries, there's only one choice. Again, it's the Viking Sword. Whether or not you're using a shield will determine if you're playing duos or trios, but using a shield in solos and duos is usually not advised by me personally, because any person that you would kill by blocking an attack would probably already die if you just use your main weapon, and using a shield to block spells or arrows is good, but it isn't that good considering your move speed penalty just allows them to kite you for even longer. It's better for you to learn how to dodge and then just chase with your Viking Sword out. Viking Sword is the only weapon to use because the other weapons do less damage or have less range or have more move speed penalty. That's another reason why we don't use Achilles right now, because they nerfed the Achilles Lantern and Achilles Torch interaction. So we really got to prioritize using the Viking Sword.
I'm just so...
Like, we gotta allow 24 hours before we really start doing it. And I think people are underestimating how important kills are gonna become. Retro Ray, though, the kill leader... Wait! Grunk the Smelly Bach G has been the man absolutely terrorizing everyone. Wait!
Anyway, closing thoughts. Use the Bardiche, guys. It's that simple. I'll have a more fleshed out video within, I want to say 2 weeks, when the meta develops ever so slightly, but I'm pretty sure what I've laid out here will be the meta. Just have to be built around some of the new stat nerfs, but more often than not, the hybrid build where you're not going too tanky, but you're not going too move speed heavy is the most successful build. The game is still kind of rock, paper, scissors, so you need to account for most engagements in most situations. So stick around, sub if you want to see that video coming, and we'll see you in the dungeon. Peace.
On him. Oh, Drip Gravy versus the man himself, Retro Ray.
If I was on 600 milligrams of fucking Adderall, I could do the same shit, chat. That's all I'm saying. No way this boy is not taking fucking performance-enhancing drugs for 25 hours straight. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm fucking saying. No way. There's some serious performance-enhancing drugs going on. That's all I'm saying.
Oh
It's
wow.
always the same, eh? Everyone has to just
25 hours?
and then
Not only that, before that, he only took a 3-hour nap. He took a 3-hour nap after gaming for 5 hours and hopped on and played for 25 straight hours. I need a plug. I need the plug. I need the plug. I need the plug.